How's it going, everyone? I'm Vivi and welcome back to some Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. The hype, the excitement, it is real right now. Weren't we all waiting for some warped footage? Well, yes. And guess what? Instead of revealing just one level, they decided to reveal a bunch. They probably told themselves, okay, these guys have been waiting for some warped footage for a while now. They probably thought, hey, let's just release a bunch of gameplay while at it, right? We were all expecting to see Tomb Raider only, but if I'm not mistaken, we got 4 levels, which got revealed. After watching a bunch of gameplays, I think it's 4. Then again, we still haven't seen any Coco gameplay. I think they're saving that one for E3. So the point of the video is to quickly analyze some of the differences we notice. I'm gonna try not to ramble too much and make this video too boring for you guys. I mean, there's a bunch of gameplay. At a point, it's just gonna get very repetitive. So I'm just gonna get straight to the point and that's it. That's the point of the video. So with that being said, let's jump straight into it. Tomb Raider, the last level from the 4th warp room. The first thing we notice is the portal. Same lighting effect, it looks pretty great overall. And right away, there's no black fade-in effect. I don't know if you've seen the background. If you look at the original, the color this time fades more to a grayish. I find it blends a lot better. Now about the writings on the wall, instead of having like a white background, we have a more beige looking background, more brownish. And as usual guys, everything is looking the same, layout, boxes and all. We just have everything in beautiful HD. Now one thing I want to say about this level, it looks too clean. It might sound funny to you, but it feels like the place has been washed. But anyways, we have the scarab beetle, the green beetle, whatever you want to call it, that awesome shiny coat on top. Looking great, the floating platform once the water starts rising, the spiked mummies, the death tornado. We use that power up to not drown in the water. And when Crash is spinning in the air, I really like that orange and blue lighting effect. Just me? Okay. Now talking about the power up, we gain it by defeating, for example, Dr. Nefarious Trophy. And these power ups were first introduced in Warped. Next, the shield carrier. Wow, my childhood is coming back to me. Main difference? The shield, it has darker colors. Now right before we move on to the bonus round, we can definitely tell the black shadows are no more. This time we have a lot more gray, which blends a lot better, like I said before. And again, the background, notice instead of more white, we have a more brownish beige color. Here we notice the power up symbol, pretty much telling us what to do and how to unlock the crates. We double jump and perform the death tornado to, you know, hit the box on top. Now guys, instead of going, wow, ooh, wow, it looks pretty. Instead of, you know, repeating myself, I'm just quickly gonna move on to this last thing. The death route. It is unlocked by remaining alive for a certain portion of the level. And by unlocking this route, we can find the blue gem. Anyways, now we reach the end of the level, and the animation, it's slightly different. Instead of slowly being sucked in, we jump straight through it, and we have this inward spiral effect, instead of, you know, outward, comparing it to the original. Now this animation right here, I find it hilarious. You burp out the gems instead of taking them out of your pocket. Only thing missing is the time trial. Overall thoughts about this level, it looks a bit too clean. They shouldn't be afraid to add a lot more detail, dirt, more scratches on the wall, stuff like that. And one thing I think they could improve is the water. At some points it looks way too blue and meh. There's something missing. They could make it more clear looking and add a bit more shine to it. Remember this fan-made level? This was a while back. This is what I'm talking about, that shiny effect on the water. And if you guys have never seen this, I will leave the link in the description below. So yep, with that being said, let's move on to the second level. Double Header, the last level of the 3rd warp room. It is looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna go on ahead and say that this one I think is my favorite out of all 4 levels which got revealed. I don't know, there's just something about this one. The fields in the background. I love the foggy effect of the castle in the background. Like, don't you just feel like breaking this level completely and just walking in the field? It looks gorgeous. The frogs. The frogs are back, and that detail. See, this is what I'm talking about. If they can add this much detail on the frog, why can't they add more detail to the water in Tomb Raider? They can do it. Then again, Tomb Raider could be early footage, I don't know. Next, the 2-headed guys. How memorable. They went from blonde to brown hair. They still have their green shirt, as As for their pants, it's brown instead of gray. The sword-wielding knights, you have to wait for them to stop and then you spin attack. And comparing it to the original, there's a lot less brown and a bit more gray. The death animation getting blown up, it's just like the classic. And as for this crate right here, instead of flashing white to a question mark, we have it spinning. The goats are back. And careful, if you remember, they ram into you and you just fly in the sky. Ah yes, the wizard. Careful not to turn into a frog. By the way, you spin once, he loses his clothes, and you spin twice to get rid of the wizard. And I think you earn a trophy by turning into a frog. Now in this gameplay we have the fruit bazooka, which is obtained by beating Dr. and Jin. And we did get a glimpse of him, by the way. He looks sick. He looks pretty good. I know we were all waiting for his face to be shown, so yeah, there we go. The bonus round. We see the background a lot better. Well, of course, it's the PS4, of course it's gonna be more detailed. We see more trees in the background, it's looking absolutely great. Now another trophy appears. Maybe we get it by entering this bonus round? What do you think? And about this bonus round, I like how they kept that dark lighting atmosphere. You definitely notice it. So yeah, this is pretty much what I had to say about this level. They did a pretty good job. Now let's move on to the third gameplay, Orange Asphalt, the second level of the 5th warp room. This one, which is one of the 4 levels with the motorcycle, it takes place at sunset on a highway. As for the other ones, we have Hog Ride, we have Road Crash, for example, which takes place at night. Now guys, am I the only one who wants to see CTR after watching this? Another type of cartoon racing game. I mean, come on, it's looking beautiful. Now looking at the overall colors, we can definitely notice that they went for a more orange color scheme. The background, honestly, it looks the same, just a bit more updated, of course. But as for the overall area on the sides, left and right, there's more detail. We have a bunch of cracks on the concrete, a lot of rocks, instead of having just cactuses sticking out. As for the racers, they still have the same blue car with the flames on him, they have their black hair, and they have scarves now. Now in this gameplay, the player loses. There's this sad animation. When you win, Crash holds his arms up with a thumbs up, looking all like, yo, what's up? Comparing it to the original, he's not holding his hands up like he's holding something precious. Anyways, the player now moves on to Gone Tomorrow, but before doing that, we're in the warp room, and the warp rooms in the Sane Trilogy, they look so good. I think Warped is my favorite in terms of gameplay and hype. Warped is the one that got me the most excited. It maybe has to do with this long wait, I guess, but it is looking interesting. Oh, and I apologize about these puns, they're just contagious, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Gone Tomorrow, the first level of the 5th warp room. Now this is what I wanted to see when seeing that poll on Twitter. Yes, it's not Future Frenzy we're looking at right now, but it does have the same feeling. It's a very futuristic place with robots, lasers everywhere, big robots, and just the whole buildings in the back, the lighting. This is what I wanted to see. And I'm not disappointed, it looks lovely. In this level, the fruit bazooka is very useful here, especially against the huge robots. Now about these huge robots, instead of a bright green in the classic, we have a darker green. Same goes for the red. It's not neon this time. Basically more dark colors. Looking at the overall color palette and the lighting in this level, it seems very close to the original. Sometimes people compare the Sane Trilogy with the classic and feel like the colors are a bit washed out, but in this level I don't think so. Now, as you may all remember, there is side-scrolling gameplay in this level, and to me it is very memorable. And looking at the background, there's an actual sunset this time, whereas in the old one we just had clouds in the sky. Although everything is looking the same but updated, Vicarious Visions is adding a few more details here and there. If they can do this here, I'm sure they can do the same in Tomb Raider. As for the green gem path right here, we unlock it by completing the death route from Flaming Passion from the 3rd level of this warp room. A last thing I want to add to the video, we do get a small cutscene of Dr. Cortex and Uka Uka. We see him interact for the first time, and comparing him to the old one, he has more of a Twin Sanity model, and the wood color, it's brighter this time, something closer to Aku Aku, right? As for this game over scene, John DiMaggio is doing a very good job. But there is one thing missing here, the background. It's all black. There's supposed to be an orangey red background. I don't know if they're planning on adding that in, but maybe they scrapped it, but the game is not out yet and I'm sure they're still polishing the game. One little extra thing I've noticed, during some of the load screens, there's some tips and tricks. For example, just keep on doing the bonus round, you don't lose any lives. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. So, as usual, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And tell me, which of these reveals was your favorite? You could maybe put everything in order, from 1 to 4. So yeah, as usual, thank you for watching. I've been Vivi and thanks a lot for the support. Until next time.